Hello there, Brandon Bailey again, here with the part 2 of the top 20 albums video with top 20 songs of 2024, and got a lot of cool songs here to cap off the year and hopefully turn you guys on to some of the stuff I've been jamming to this year. Some crazy songs ahead here, so without further ado, we shall get into it. At number 20 in the list, we have Pentagrams by Smashing Pumpkins from Agori Morime. It's such a haunting, creepy opening. The song itself is pretty chilled compared to the heavier songs on the album. It's a masterclass in how to get a gradual build going in a song, leaving you anticipating a climax. Which in this track comes in the way of two awesome solos. The lyrics, vocal melody, and Billy's delivery really stand out on the album to me. I also love Jimmy's more stripped approach to the percussion, while still being ever so tasty and clever with his parts. Alright, at number 19, we have A Love International by Khruangbin from their Alasala record. I know, I tried to make a spot for each of my top 20 albums, but I included some from honorable mentions and other places. This was one of my honorable mention albums. It's such a chill groove going on here. Each member is doing something different rhythmically, and it really creates a unique vibe. It sounds exotic. I love the chord changes throughout it too. The bass groove really does a good job of making them stand out. Really, the entire song is a bit of a guitar solo, but the way it builds and lifts at the end is so beautiful and satisfying. It's almost like it goes on its own little solo thing at the end there, and when it trails off. And when it fades out, you just never want it to end, but it's such a satisfying fade out too at the same time. Alrighty, at number 18, we have Cinnamon Temple by Hiatus Coyote. God, what to say about this song? It's just pure insanity. This track is such a manic ride. It truly leaves my jaw dropping with how ridiculous it is. It goes through many winding passages in its 3-minute runtime, and it just gets like crazier as it goes on. It gets to this level of chaos while still maintaining like a happy spirit, catchy hooks, and a consistent 3/4 groove. I feel like sometimes it switches between 3/4 and 6/8. Haven't quite tried to figure that out for myself. But anyway, yeah, it's quite a rare thing to find in a song these days, a 3/4 drum beat. And I mean, it doesn't keep a consistent beat. The song gets crazier and crazier as it goes on. But yeah, the fact that the drums can play crazy stuff over top 3/4 is nuts. It's definitely the craziest song of the year. There's no contest about it. I know it's like it's at number 18, but like it's just one of those songs that's just like, how the hell did this even happen? Like this, it's just so unique and just so engaging. And I mean, I guess some people might find a song like this challenging to listen to, but like to me, it's just like it just makes my mania like happy. It's awesome. Anyway, it's the kind of weird music that I live for. At number 17, we have Sad Pilot by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, of course. And it has quite a catchy riff. The whole album has that similar blues rock boogie shuffle going on, but I feel it really pays off when you get to this song on the album. Definitely the song on the record that gets stuck in my head the most. For sure the catchiest chorus on the record. The back and forth interplay between each member that does vocals is awesome too. Probably the most they've ever been utilized in this way, like just hopping back and forth throughout the whole song. Definitely love Joey Walker's solo on this song too. It's also very catchy and a standout in their catalog for guitar solos. Such a good payoff when it hits too on the album, because there isn't many like solos on the album, but this is like the big one. And I feel like when it drops, the song drops out and then the solo comes in and stuff, it's such a nice moment on the record. At number 16, we have This Is Who We Are, featuring Nala by Gary Clark Jr. From JPEG Raw. It opens so dramatically. I love the long rest before the beat comes in too. His flow, melodies, and lyrics really hit and stick too. I love the attitude he gives off on it. Interesting guitar work throughout too. Many great solos on the album, but the one at the end of this track gives the song such a lift. Some licks and techniques I haven't quite heard from Gary Clark Jr. either in the solo. The backing vocals make it sound very theatrical too, in a sort of menacing way. The whole track is kind of like a dark and brooding vibe. Love the sort of Middle Eastern-y flute that comes in during the chorus too. Kind of gives it like an old school hip hop like kind of vibe, which stood out amongst the other songs on the album to me. At number 15, we have To My Heart by Mother Mother off of the Grief chapter. I love the acoustic riff that opens the song. Then this bop of a groove comes in. I dig the male vocalist's delivery throughout it. Cool lyrics as well. The melody and chords throughout have a nice flow throughout the song's structure. When the song chills out, the vocals are mixed together and they sound beautiful. Amazing, like short burst of a guitar solo in this song too. I was really taken aback by that throughout the album. Such a crazy effect going on and awesome production done to it as well. Awesome runs and phrasing in it, like for real. The song trails off, leaving you wanting more at the end too, and it packs a lot in a 3-minute runtime. At number 14, we have Underground by Jack White from his No Name record. Such a nice, light-hearted jam. The main riff is so infectious. Every instrument plays off of each other really well, honestly. It definitely creates a bit of a swagger. It stylistically reminds me of some of my favorite White Stripes tracks, too, and does so in a way that feels fresh and true to Jack's solo career's aesthetic. Awesome vocal delivery and clever lyrics as well. One of his best solos too. It's just as hooky as the main riff. Makes me want to move ferociously every time it comes on and headbang to it and whatnot. At number 13, we have Rock On, in parentheses, Over and Over by the Lemon Twigs from A Dream Is All We Know. The closing track on the album. I know it's basically a T-Rex song, but the way the brothers Daddario pull off reviving this sound really amazes me. Especially that they play everything and produce it all with just the two of them this time around again. It's so damn catchy too. It's honestly drilled into my brain probably deeper than Bang a Gong, Get It On by T-Rex is at this point. It's just such a fun song that invites you to put the record on again and again. Amazing playing, vocals, and production. One of my favorite solos from Michael Daddario so far, too. Just such a bop of a song. And I know, like, you know, considering all the other awesome, beautiful arrangements and songs on the album, I'm sure it's kind of crazy to see me put, like, the basic rocker song on there. But it's really such a fun song, and it gets stuck in my head, so I couldn't help it. At number 12, we have Power Trippin' by Gum and Ambrose Kenny Smith from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. As I said in the album's video, Gum, he's known as Jay Watson. That's his real name. He's going under Gum for this release, apparently. They're both Australian musicians, and what a pairing they make. What a bop. You know, every aspect of the arrangement on this song is so incredible, especially the synths throughout. It's crazy how the fusion of trippy synth sounds blends seamlessly into the bluesy groove of this song. Another great main riff here too, as well as another great guitar solo. It's sort of simple and follows the main melody, but the tone, harmonies, and precision of each note makes it hit home pretty well. A brilliant use of lyrical juxtaposition on here too, with the upbeat groove matched to these kind of gloomy lyrics about like kind of being delusional and stuff. Anyway, we're on to number 12. We have Zero Sum by The Smile from their Cutouts album, which was the second one they put out this year. An excellent example of The Smile's unique ability to make the hookiest, yet manic and urgent tunes. The main riff is insane and kind of sounds like something Larry Lalonde would write in Primus. So much chromaticism in the riff. Tom York takes a much more subdued approach with his vocals on this one too. It serves the song quite well though. He doesn't get too crazy, even though the instrumental itself is pretty nuts, but his vocals manage to be really catchy with, you know, a nice choice of melody and word placement throughout it. Every aspect is amazing on this song, really. It's just insane. Number 11, we have Flee by St. Vincent. This is such a snarky and biting song, no pun intended. It pulls off being edgy in a way that I can actually enjoy. It's a very big and bombastic track. She kind of builds her vocals in a sinister way at first and then really lets loose as the song goes on. Awesome harmonies during the chorus too. I also really love the bridge slash kind of guitar solo section. It's kind of like a mini solo. It's super spacey and trippy. Kind of reminds me of these kind of type of moments that happen on Smashing Pumpkins' Siamese Dream album. Another song where everything is playing something to complement the rest of the arrangement to create a unique song. It definitely has a very unique vibe about it. One of the surprisingly heavier and more aggressive songs on this album from her as well. Alrighty. At number 9, we have Upper Hand by Pearl Jam. One of the best songs the band has put out in a long time. It might be one of my favorites in their whole catalog now, after listening to it so many times. It's a song that really shows what good came out of Andrew Watt and Pearl Jam's collaboration. He creates an atmosphere with this song that harkens back to many great Pearl Jam tropes from back throughout their catalog. It shows how big of a fan he is and how he can manage to, you know, not be overbearing with that and actually create something that sounds unique in their catalog here. The swell in the beginning into the Nothing As It Seems-esque opening verse is amazing. The song just washes over you. You know, it's got such emotion-filled vocals from Eddie Vedder with some beautiful lyrics. Mike McCready's solos are some of his best on here too. He gets 2 of them, and the first one's super melodic and adds so much to it. I mean, they both add a lot to it, but then the second one's just an explosion. He's just going off on it. And it's awesome. A total burst of energy on this song. Alrighty, at number 8, we have Mother Nature by MGMT off of Loss of Life. It's such a beautiful, nostalgic, and melancholic song. It stands out in MGMT's discography with its Britpop influence that mixes with their usual neo-psych vibe. The lyrics, like much of them on Loss of Life, are what really make the song hit home, though. It's so reflective and bittersweet sounding, yet it's filled with such a joyous spirit. It is very Beatlesque in that way. I love the way everything sounds, too. Incredible drums and incredible acoustic guitar sounds as well. Of course, with any MGMT song, you have awesome synths, and they really elevate it to another level. A gorgeous song with just a great message, for real. At number 7, we have Classical by Vampire Weekend from Only God Was Above Us. An incredibly wild ride, yet still insanely catchy and very much controlled chaos here. The lyrical themes of this song are conveyed well through the instrumental arrangement, especially when it gets to the bridge with what I interpret as jazz and classical music battling it out mid-song to see which form of classical remains in the end, you know, to make reference to the song there, but I feel like it's kind of what they're poking fun at. It's totally nuts, and it works so well. It's like culture battle in the middle of a song. It's insane. This song has been stuck in my head all year, too. It's just so catchy. I love the main riff so much. It's fun to play on guitar, too. The production is crazy and unique sounding. It also feels very true to Vampire Weekend's like initial style while still evolving it, you know, as time goes on, which is pretty interesting and crazy that they can still continue to progress as a band. At number 6, we have Read the Room by The Smile, second Smile track on here, but I had to get 2 of them on here because both albums are really good, so I had to get some representation for both. Such a sprawling track. It's crazy how well all of the juxtaposed parts throughout this work well. It really takes you on a journey. It's another one of The Smile's eerie and manically driven tunes, but this one stands out with the song structure, lyrics, and the very chill, happy-sounding chorus that segs seamlessly back into the spookiness in the verse. The shifting time signatures and the way the drums play to them are just insane. They're amazing. It totally reminds me of some of my favorite Radiohead tracks. The groovy outro is so hypnotizing too. You just never want it to end. And then, you know, it ends when he says that last, and everybody thinks so. And for as crazy of a song it is, it's so catchy. And, you know, as usual, Tom York is delivering some just haunting vocals. Alrighty. Number 5, we have Drone No Drone by The Cure from their Songs of a Lost World. And it's a very surprisingly heavy song for The Cure. I didn't expect a groove to crush as absolutely hard as this song does, by them anyway. It is very doomy and sinister, but still maintains the band's knack for danceability and massive soundscapes. The guitar work from the new guitarist Reeves is incredible all throughout the album, but he really shines here. Just straight up unexpected licks for a Cure song during the solo. The bass riff and the tone on it for this album are so dirty too. It's such a pleasant surprise for them. I love the chord progression from the verse to chorus on this song as well. It makes what could be a very noisy and abrasive sort of track into an interesting tune with a lot of movement and melody in it. Dark movement at that, you know, it's The Cure, so it's all dark. At number 4, we have Bombing Out by Jack White, my second Jack White track on here. Had to get 2 because, like I said, it's just so hard choosing with that album. Each song's so good. It's a short and fun song with a vibe of angst and perseverance. Anytime Jack White brings a little bit of punky energy, it's welcome with me. It's so in your face and fast and still keeps the bluesiness that most of this album holds. It's just a total barn burner. The lyrics are witty and simple at the same time. It's a very direct song, but unique on the album. It's filled with so much energy. I mean, for real, like, I love the short, snappy solo it has, too. It has such an out-of-control tone, which is kind of typical for Jack White, but it really explodes on here. And he really plays to the quick chord changes happening, you know, nicely with each phrasing of the solo. Alrighty, we are at the top 3 songs of the year. Alrighty, number 3, we have Mary Boone by Vampire Weekend. I've got another one from them on here because that album was just so good. It was hard not to put 2 on here. This is definitely one of the prettiest songs of the year. It's truly a magnificent song. Ezra's vocal melody during the verses are just as much of a hook as the choruses. They convey so much emotion with the storytelling that this song takes on. The choir backing vocals add a special element to the song too. When the beat comes in with the piano and crazy production, it's just otherworldly. It definitely adds an interesting psychedelic edge to this otherwise perfectly beautiful song. Everything going on in the arrangement is amazing. It's just a glorious listen. I mean, the piano breaks are pretty rad as well. The song just keeps lifting and lifting until the very lo-fi-esque kind of sounding bridge that brings it all kind of back down to earth a bit. The piano and the vocals during which sound so good, like paired up together. You know, with especially with the chord progression underneath that kind of leads back into the end of the song, really, with another one of those crazy psychedelic like beat drops that happens in it. Just amazing, beautiful song. At number 2, fighting for the top spot for real. And again, this might surprise you with some of the other songs on this album that this song comes from, that I chose this one, but let me explain it. At number 2, I have I Should Have Known Right From the Start by the Lemon Twigs. And of course, another one from A Dream Is All We Know. It's a really short and sweet acoustic ballad. I like it so much on the album because of the haunting and peculiar vibe the chord progression brings. It feels like a deeply emotional song, and the atmosphere of it is intriguing. It might be one of my favorite acoustic guitar riffs ever. It's played so beautifully, and like I said, it's just haunting. The song doesn't even have a solo of any kind, just an amazing outro with every instrument, creating this bittersweet, melancholic groove that you never really want to end, but it does end very shortly, unfortunately. And it has a very autumnal atmosphere about it, and it really makes it stand out on the album for me. And I just like songs that kind of sound like the fall. I mean, just a nice vibe to bring, especially within a folky song like this. And kind of sounds like a lost Simon and Garfunkel song, which, I guess they kind of did a little bit of that on Everything Harmony, but stands out on this album, which a lot of the songs are a little more peppy, upbeat, kind of happy sounding, and this one's just not happy sounding. But it's so beautiful, for real. Just a nice ballad. And like I said, I know it's crazy with all the other songs on there, like My Golden Years and A Dream Is All I Know, the title track, and Peppermint Roses, Church Bells, Sweet Vibration. All the songs on there are so good, it's hard to pick one or two. But these are the two. First time listening through it way back when it came out, just stuck with me instantly. Alright, number 1, what was the top song of 2024? Well, here we go. Maybe it's no surprise by how I kind of talked about in the albums video, but we have Bubblegum Dog by MGMT, another one from Loss of Life making it on here, another one of the hot singles from that album. Technically, I mean, if you want to think about it, I kind of cheated because Bubblegum Dog and Mother Nature, same with some of the Lemon Twigs songs, they came out last year, whereas the album came out this year. So I kind of counted into being this year, but I did hear Bubblegum Dog and Mother Nature sometime last fall in 2023, and they've definitely stuck with me ever since. Maybe that's gives me a little bit of a bias to why I picked those two as my favorite on the albums, but I really feel like none of the other songs in the album didn't hit home for me as much as the two lead singles, which is rare for me because I'm really a deep cuts kind of guy and less of a big hits singles kind of person. Anyway, this song is quirkiness at its finest. The era of disillusionment and dread, paired with this sprawling and winding alternative rock sound, is just so strange, and MGMT pull it off so well, as they tend to typically do. There's no doubt that this song would take a spot in my previous top 10 MGMT songs list. It's pretty much as perfect as it gets for a popish song to be just weird enough to sink in deep for me. The different vocal tones that Andrew uses are quite impressive. He goes lower than I ever remember him going on previous albums, and does eventually get into that typical range that he does, like a sort of mid, almost a falsetto range later. It's really a journey of a song, though. So much movement in the progression and song structure. It's got a really tasty solo that leads into a really trippy bridge with these rising vocal harmonies that come back into the end of the song. It all sounds so good, for real. It's so infectious. It ends triumphantly, too, with a nice resolve at the end of the coda. Just such an excellent ride of a song. It's like as crazy as a song structure can get while still remaining like a pop song at its core. And just, yeah, so much awesome layering between the acoustic guitars mixed with the electric guitars and then the synthesizers that come in, and you know, like with the rest of the album, just excellent drum sounds. I feel like MGMT always does a good job on making the drums sound really big and good, but really excellent on this. Yeah, just, it's not hard to see why that song was top for me. Didn't really see it make many other top songs lists, but you know, it's all good. Everyone has different opinions, and you can let me know if you agree with my list or not by putting yours in the comments. I would love to be turned on some more stuff. Like I said in the albums video, I didn't get to listen to as much stuff as I would have hoped, only like 60 some odd albums, you know, whereas, you know, I watch Taste Like Music, and Jason on that channel listened to over 400 albums somehow this year, so I'm sure there's plenty of music that I missed this year, but I am very pleased with the stuff that I did. You know, obviously at least pleased enough to have made top 20 albums and songs videos out of what I did listen to this year. And, you know, I really feel like every time I do this during a year, it helps me just come up with new creative ways to approach my own songs and songwriting, you know, and doing stuff like this can help give some people some insight into some of my influences and stuff like that, as well as turning people on to some stuff maybe they haven't heard before. Which, if you do want to listen to any of these songs, there is a link down below in the description, or if you're on the TV to the side, whichever side you're on, and you can follow that to a Spotify playlist with all of these songs in order, and you know, maybe you can listen to them and watch my review with them or something, interact with it, whatever way you want to do it. Either way though, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time very soon. We'll get this channel revamped and expect a new album in the next year from me, and lots of stuff music related. So anyway, peace and love. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Hope you all had a good one. Have a good one.